The prospect of a visit to Pyongyang by President Moon first surfaced when North Korean leader Kim Jong-un's younger sister, Kim Yo-jong, made a historic visit to Seoul as her brother's special envoy last week. She delivered a personal letter from Kim containing an invitation for the South Korean leader to visit Pyongyang. 황호준, 아리랑 News.
And to talk more about current and future inter-Korean relations, we're joined by Dr. Bong Young-sik, a researcher at the Yonsei Institute for North Korean Studies. Welcome to the program, Dr. Bong.
Well, pleased to be here.
I hope you had a nice holiday.
Happy New Year to you.
So, as we saw in our report, President Moon made quite a surprising comment during the Lunar New Year holiday, quoting an old Korean saying. Now, many experts believe that he basically meant time is not yet ripe for inter-Korean summit. How did you interpret that comment?
Time is not yet ripe. He made a comment using the Korean proverb that you cannot seek hot, sweet rice tea at the water spring, right? Everything takes time. And he emphasized in his meetings with Ms. Kim Yo-jong, a special envoy sent by the Kim Jong-un government of North Korea, that inter-Korean summit is good, but it has to be met with the appropriate circumstances. Appropriate conditions should be met. And this is a clear reiteration of his basic position that expressed to Ms. Kim Yo-jong. And in that regard, I think this is a really wise and timely remark, which dampen any possible concern and anxiety among those who are worried that in order to maintain the early momentum during the in Pyeongchang Winter Olympic Games, the Moon Jae-in government may too early push ahead with the inter-Korean summit without keeping it in harmony with the purpose of the denuclearization of North Korea. So I think this is a really wise and timely comment to reiterate his basic position that inter-Korean summit is not so meaningful without North Korea first making a fundamental change of attitude with regard to its nuclear and intercontinental missile programs.
It was a very wise and timely
Definitely.
comment. Now, we can't overlook the Washington's North Korea stance. It's an important factor that can't be overlooked. But are Washington-Pyongyang talks a compulsory condition for inter-Korean summit?
Yes and no. It is a compulsory to inter-Korean summit if it is the purpose of the meeting between Pyongyang and Washington is to confirm North Korea's verifiable commitment to eliminating with a reasonable timeline its nuclear programs and the intercontinental missile programs that can target the United States. But as long as North Korean authority is going to make such a commitment clear to everyone, including the United States and South Korea, then United States has no strong reason to oppose two Korean governments having the summit meeting prior to a bilateral meeting between Washington and Pyongyang. The key issue is whether any progress made between the two Koreas will be in harmony with the goal of denuclearizing North Korea in verifiable, irreversible, and the fundamental ways.
So I guess North Korea should take some actions
It
first.
is all up to North Korean authority.
Different U.S. officials are making different signals on the possibility of Washington-Pyongyang talks. So as a result, there are now mixed prospects of whether the U.S. will really sit down for talks with North Korea. How do you analyze the Trump administration's strategy for talks with North Korea?
Some people are concerned that there are too many different voices coming from Washington. I think that is only natural because North Korea's nuclear threat is a multi-layered threat. It is not only the nuclear intercontinental missile threat, but North Korea poses a great deal of threat to neighboring countries, including South Korea, only with its conventional military capability. And the North Korean nuclear crisis has to be dealt as it is, which has multiple dimensions. So it is only natural for Trump administration to have diverse voices in dealing with Kim Jong-un authority. Having said that, for the first time in the entire history of North Korean nuclear crisis since 1993, for more than 25 years, such uncertainty is no longer a strategic asset for Pyongyang. Now, strategic uncertainty actually favors Washington to increase its leverage upon Pyongyang. Now it is Pyongyang who has to deal with uncertainties coming from Washington. So keeping North Korean authority guessing is very advantageous to Trump administration. So voicing out different perspectives on dealing with the Kim Jong-un government and its nuclear and missile program is not such a bad thing for Trump administration. It shows that it has the ability to take advantage of uncertainty in the situation to its advantages.
So now the table has turned.
Right.
I think that's a very interesting point. I